get everything organized here. Let's see. First, I gotta go to my other stream earlier today. I decided I will keep working on the commentary now. I'm going to rename that one Part 1. Yeah, because I want to keep my train of thought going. All right. And I will share this link on Twitter. And I'll put this in the playlist. Okay. And I got to find it's the same banner. There we go. I see Jadion is streaming now. Actually, why don't we watch that a little bit while I'll bring everything else up. It looks like he's talking about Passover versus Christmas. And you get a notification. Well, the audio
to go on everything, Jadion?
Rumble's down. Like the whole website's
started
down.
5
So
minutes
just
ago.
YouTube today.
That's all good. That's all good. Right?
So if you don't know
come on over to
Dion,
Discord anyway.
Yeah.
All right, we're finna get this thing started. I'm about to mute you. All right, Gideon?
He got really big doing prank videos.
All right, here we go.
And then just recently he decided, he gave his testimony. He's now just shifted it over. He's convicted and has shifted over just to Christian content.
Good afternoon,
He keeps
everybody.
the Sabbath and the feasts and stuff. Looks like. And,
this is the Bible study that focuses on the
this is the pastor usually
and nothing but the
listens
truth
to
concerning the Word of God, while leaving out all personal opinions.
But yeah, he does. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a chat open on YouTube. He uses his Discord,
is one of my day ones and
which
one of my all-time.
I have a Discord, but I haven't looked at much or hardly at all. I have to check it out, try it out sometime, maybe get on there. Just usually so busy with stuff.
Jeff Adair. Go ahead, Jeff.
All right. Peace once again, Brother Josh, for that introduction.
Open up.
And peace again to the elders, teachers, and students at ABT.
Slides I was working on.
YouTube. And once again, thanks for giving me the privilege.
So I recommend you. You know what? I'll put the link to his channel.
Of course, you know,
in the
we
chat.
consider it a privilege to have you read for us today, and any and all input that you
Recommend
may have.
going and subscribing to
Judging by
YouTube.
today's title, you're gonna have plenty to say about this one. But before we get started,
in
let
that
me just
quick,
lay down a few ground
I
rules
think.
for all the new people who don't know what's going on. For all of you who don't know, this is our Sabbath study. This is a lesson. This is a sermon, whatever you want to call it. All that means for you, the listening audience, is that if you have any questions or comments, simply hold them until the study is over. After every study, we have a lengthy Q&A. So don't be in the chat arguing back and forth with each other. If you want to argue with somebody in the chat, DM them.
I think I'll just turn this off now.
Hit them up with a friend request. They accept, and y'all can go back and forth.
If you watch this, I recommend going over and checking that out. Checking out Gideon's channel. From what I've watched, it's pretty good. So I'm going to share the slides I've been working on. Yeah, I don't think I need to bring up. I brought up Bible verses before. I never got on to using them, so for now, I won't bring them up yet. And again, I'll probably just start adding commentary here, and then go back and forth between that and adding new verses. So where did I leave off? So let's start in the beginning. Genesis 26, verse 4. And the Lord will make your descendants multiply as the stars of heaven. I'll give to your descendants all these lands, and yours. Again, that was Abraham. And again, I just want to be absolutely positively sure. It's talking Abraham. I think this is that famous verse that so many people know about. Yeah. The Lord will make Abraham's descendants multiply as the stars of heaven. I will give to your descendants all these lands. In your seed, all the nations of the heart shall be blessed, because Abraham obeyed. Well, I guess you say Abraham here, so I can take that out. Because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. A lot of times I've noticed reading the Bible, I've noticed God's law, commandments, statutes, etc. All grouped together like this. I haven't studied. I'm putting this in because it actually came up in a Bible study once. And that was a good question. I haven't studied it studied in detail whether there are differences, between them. But here, what should I say? Let me just put this down here. I'll just put here. In a Bible study, once someone asked if there were any differences between commandments, statutes, etc. I think it's a good question, and I haven't looked into it closely. Let's see. However, in my time reading the Bible, I notice them often grouped together like we see here. So I'd say they all have equal importance. I don't see any indication, for example, that some may be mandatory while others are optional. See, it would make more sense to move these sentences around. However, in my time reading the Bible, I noticed them often grouped together like we see here. I don't see any indication, for example, that some may be mandatory while others are optional. I'd say they all have equal importance. Yeah, I think I'll put this sentence after the other one. And now, a new slide. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm going to remove this subtitle, at least for now. I had some idea about, but I don't like why I had it in there. I don't think I'll actually be able to get into it in this commentary. Let's see. So here, so I don't even have, and yeah, I won't number these because it's, and then that'll give me some leeway in case I make a mistake later on. So this is going to be a summary list. So let's see, like at Genesis 26:4, it says, see, shall be blessed. Brings a blessing to descendants. So, and let's see. So I like to have, and like with each verse, I'll add the point that's trying to be made, and I'll keep increasing the list as I go. And I like to do that because I think it helps people. It helps kind of with people's attention spans. It helps keep fresh in their mind how things are related and whatnot. The downside is if I later on want to make a change, then every time I had it, I have to go back and change it each time. But that's okay. I think it's worth putting them in there I think it helps the audience. Let me make sure this isn't bigger than the title. Okay, it's not good. I'll read this slide. Let's see. God blessed Abraham for obeying his law. And not just him, but his future descendants. Let's jump back to Exodus. Shortly before this week's portion. Exodus 16:4. Then the Lord said to Moses, behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain quota every day, that I may test them whether they will walk in my law or not. Test from God. See that God here, let me shorten this up. I'll take this out part. Blessing to descendants. If I make this bigger, I won't do that because then it's bigger in the title. Excuse me. See that God tested his people on whether they would obey his law. See, how can I, I'm thinking, how can I phrase this one now? God's law was important enough for him to want to test his people to see if they would obey it. Excuse me. Okay, yeah, and then we also have, I'll add first, this is from the commentary. First thing God spoke to his assembly. Let's start shrinking down there. Also, as we saw in this commentary's introduction, the first thing God spoke to his assembled people was his command. Were first thing is law. I'm just trying to think how to the proper grammar for like a. As I say first thing, so I'd still say was, but if I say commandments and people tend to say were is command. I think I'll just say law, then it makes it simpler. Spoke to his. I'm trying to think of a way to shorten this, but I can't off the top of my head. It's just 24:12. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain and be there, and I will give you tablets of stone and the law and commandments which I have written, that you may teach them." God wanted them taught. Told Moses to teach the commandments to his people. He wanted everyone to learn and know them. Let's see, now we jump to Deuteronomy 4:5. So I'm actually skipping Leviticus and Numbers, which contain a lot of the law, but like Deuteronomy especially has a ton about how important it is. Let's move ahead to Deuteronomy. The last book. Let's move ahead to Deuteronomy. It contains numerous passages about. I want to think of another word besides important. So I keep using that adjective over and over. Contains numerous passages about I'll just God's. No. Deuteronomy 4:5. Surely I've taught you statutes and judgments, just as the Lord my God commanded me, that you should act according to them in the land which you go to possess, Therefore be careful to observe them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the peoples who will hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Okay, and it continues, but I think to the next slide, but I think I can just add that here. So surely I've taught yours just as should. Therefore be careful to observe them, for this is your wisdom, understanding. Wisdom and understanding. Actually, yeah, I can help about continues numerous passages about the greatness of God's law. Moses said, observing the commandments were wisdom and understanding. They were so great that other nations would observe them and declare how great they were. Deuteronomy 4:7. For what great nation is there that has God so near to it as the Lord our God to us, for whatever reason we may call upon him? What great nation is there that has such statutes and righteous judgments as are in all this law which is set before you this day? So while saw how great the law was, they would also here. Isaiah demonstrates you would also see that God was near to them because of how great the commandments are. While the nations saw how great the law was, we would also see that God was near to them because of how great the commandments. Commandments are so great, but I think I have to say, let me just try that. Let's see. Let me try this. The nations would also see that God was near to them, to Israel, because of how great the commandments are. In Deuteronomy 6:17. It's already been 24 minutes. You shall diligently keep the commandments of the Lord your God, his testimonies and his statutes, which he has commanded you. You shall do what is right and good in the sight of the Lord, that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the good land which the Lord swore to your fathers, to cast out all your enemies from before you. So, right and good. Moses said God's law is right and good. So not following, so logically speaking, not following his law would be wrong and bad. So, as you're speaking, I don't want to use the negative. They're like, let me say, dismissing his law would be wrong and bad. Deuteronomy 10:12. And now, Israel, what does the Lord your God require of you but to fear the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, to serve the Lord your God? I'm going to go back. I'm going to put in, for these lists, I'm going to put in, I'm going to bold and highlight the parts that are going to be listed. I will give to your descendants all these, and your seed all nations of the earth shall be blessed, because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. The Lord said, Moses, I will rain bread from heaven, and people shall go out, that I may test them whether they will keep my law or not. I'll give you tests. Teach them. Deuteronomy 4. You should act according to them in the land. Therefore, be careful to observe them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the people. Will hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Oops, what did I do? There. What great nations are that? God. So near it. Okay, what's this one? Right and good. All right. Okay, yep, that I'm all caught up. Now, Israel, what does the Lord your God require but to fear the Lord? To walk in all his ways, to love him, and to serve the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, and to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command you today for good. I wonder if I should also highlight where it says commandments each time. Yeah, I think I will. I think it'll help out. I'll just underline those, and so I'll keep the bold for the part I'm trying to get it out. So I'm gonna try there, something like that. My law, not. I'll be there, and I'll give you tablets of stone and the law and commandments which I have written, that you may teach them. Shall I have taught you statutes and judgments, man and me, that you should walk according to them in the land which you go possess her for the sight of people. Whatever reason that has such statutes and righteous judgments as are in all this law which I set before you this day. I'll underline this whole part here. We shall do it. Moses said God's law is right and good, so logically speaking, dismissing his law would be wrong and bad. So what does the Lord your God require of you? But to fear the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, and to love, to keep the commandments of the Lord in his statutes, which I command you today. So, fear, love, and serve God. Yeah, pretty soon I think I'll split up. I'll make a second column. If I could just, how can I shorten this? First thing God spoke to Israel. Let me do that. See, this is what I mentioned earlier, so I have to go all the way back here. Well, and I don't. It's a little shorter. Yeah, well, no, I might as well do that. Well, yeah, it helps. Yeah, so pretty soon this type will get so small that we can split it into 2 columns. Yeah, I'll see once it gets, if it gets like below, like in this first half, and then I'll split it up. Oh, let's see. I want to keep going. I want to get this part done before I stop again. But it's already been over a half hour. I might stop and then come back again. It takes that long, and there's still so much more to put in here. I'll have to read it and see how long it's going. I might have to take some of these out. Yeah, I might end up. I really want to read these verses because it gets point across, but I might have to just give the citation. Keeping God's law is how we show that we fear, love, and serve Him. Okay. Therefore, you shall love the Lord your God and keep His charges. Are some more verses. Verses to back that up. See, therefore you shall love the Lord your God and keep His charge, statutes, and His commandments always. Shall be that if you earnestly obey my commandments, which I command you today, to love the Lord your God. God and serve Him. Oh wait, I gotta go back. I gotta Control Z one more. There you go. And it shall be that if you earnestly obey my commandments, which I command you today, to love the Lord your God and double click, serve Him with all your heart and with all your soul. Verse 22, for if you carefully keep all these commandments which I command you to do, to love the Lord your God, to walk in all His ways, and to hold fast to Him. Deuteronomy 13:1. There arises among you, this is an important one, especially for later on. If there arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and he gives you a sign or wonder, and the sign or the wonder comes to pass, of which he spoke to you, saying, let us go after other gods, which you have not known, and let us serve them, you shall not listen to the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. For the Lord your God is testing you to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. This might actually be a good place to break it up. How many more do I have in Deuteronomy after this? I've got several more. Yeah, I got a lot more. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do, and that's where I'll break it after this point. Then I'll start doing the New Testament verses, and then I'll see if there's more. I'll check the time, and I'll add in some other passages that I think if they if they fit, if they can help out. So let's see. There arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and he gives you a sign or wonder, and the sign or the wonder comes to pass, which he spoke to you, saying, let us go after other gods which you have not known, let us serve them. You shall not listen to the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your God is testing you to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul. Just looked at how serving God meant obeying his commandments. So, serving other gods would be obeying their commandments instead of Yahweh's commandments. You shall walk after the Lord your God and fear him and keep his commandments and obey his voice. You shall serve him and hold fast to him. Oops. But that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken in order to turn you away from the Lord your God, brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed you from the house of bondage, to entice you from the way in which the Lord your God commanded you to walk. So you shall put away the evil from your midst. Okay, yeah, and this actually, this will fit really nicely here. Kill. So yeah, kill prophets. Let's see. Keep his commandments and obey his voice. You shall serve him and hold fast to him. That prophet, that dreamer of dreams, shall be put to death, because he has spoken in order to turn you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you from the house of bondage, to entice you from the way in which the Lord your God commanded you to walk. God commanded to kill. I could probably kill prophets that lead away from God's law. Moses commanded the people to kill prophets if they tried to lead the people, to lead them away from God's commandments. This is important to remember. This is important because most Christians today believe that's what Jesus and Paul did. So now I'm actually thinking of sliding up that timeline to here. So I think it'll fit better here. Yeah, I'm going to try doing that. How's this fit? Oh my gosh. This week's book, which is Yitro. Okay, God had his peoples. Let's people together to speak to them. Okay. Today I want to talk about importance. Of course, the Bible says a lot about the law, so both the Old Testament and the New Testament, see what they say about the Torah. Oh, excuse me. Oh, here I want to say. No, but here, let's start at the beginning. See, I want to point out what I found many don't realize that even among the church, the books of the Bible in their traditional order are a history of God's people. Start with the creation of Adam and Eve in Genesis, and their descendants are tracked to Noah, and he becomes a focus. Then Noah's descendants are tracked to Abraham, and his family becomes the focus of Genesis. He had a son Isaac, but a son Jacob. No, actually, since I'm putting this here, I could probably take that out. But God named Jacob Israel, and the rest of the Bible follows the Israelites, the descendants of Jacob through the years. Even in the New Testament, if you read Jesus' genealogies, you'll see he was descended from Jacob. Here. Throughout that, we see the Bible talks about how the Israelites would fall into disobedience, get punished by God, and repent and turn back to Him. In the New Testament, I'll say New Testament. Should I get places? New Testament continues the focus on the Israelites. Jesus' genealogies show he was descended from Jacob. It's important to realize. From Jacob. So the people in Jesus' time, in the time of Jesus and the apostles, well, actually, there's another side I want to put here first. And that is from one of my older videos. So let me see if I can bring that up quick. Let me see who's live real quick. Hopefully there's nothing bad up on here. Looks pretty tame. So I'll just actually I'm going to step out real quick, and I'll come back, and I'll pick up. I'll just go over my channel real quick. Let's see if I stop. There we go. Be right back. All right. Yeah, let me bring up my channel quick. I need to share it. I've ended up talking about all this time and not sharing it. Having more viewers? Nope. Oh, but I got another like. Thank you to everyone who's liked my stream. Yeah, so just want to go over how I have this laid out in case I haven't seen it before. I've got it split up into sections. My main focus of my YouTube channel is working on Torah commentaries or commentaries about the Bible, and so I put all of my commentaries. I put them all into this section here, and that it doesn't say how many there are. Let's see if we click here. Here it says there's 84 of them in there right now. And so if we go back, and then the next section is Bible commentary playlist. So I try to group this. It's the same videos as here, but I try to group them based more on topic. And you can see so the first one I have here is about how the Old Testament is prophetic of Jesus, like kind of what I'm going over in the commentary I'm working on today. And the next one is about different aspects of the Torah and the Law, and so like the Torah and Law are given in the Old Testament, like really early on. The first 5 books of the Old Testament are called the Torah. It's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. I'm pretty sure that's the order. Numbers and Leviticus might be switched. I'll get those mixed up every now and then. But and so yeah, like so this first playlist take passages from the Torah and the rest of the Old Testament and show how they're prophetic of Jesus. And most of it actually is from the Torah, because our church does this commentary schedule based on the Torah. So we go, and that's what most Jews follow, is they go through the first 5 books of the Bible in a year. They've got a schedule such that they start at Genesis and go in the chapters in order and through Exodus and then all the way through Deuteronomy. And it takes 1 year to get through the cycle in their reading, and so it's sectioned off each week, and we're assigned the section that corresponds to the given week. So like this one will be the Yitro portion is Exodus 18:1 through 20:26, and so the next one will start in Exodus, I believe 21. I'm pretty sure 26 is the last verse of 20 when I looked at it. And so yeah, and then the next one, playlist here is what the Bible has to say about politics and economics. And then got some more Bible word study, some videos where I look at like what does the Bible really say? Because see, a lot of people in churches believe stuff that isn't actually in the Bible. And I got a few videos just about the New Testament, and some about the feast days. And then here's like a couple short series. This one I don't know if I'll ever finish, but not all the commentaries are grouped up into these. There's some like that just are standalone. Like like this most recent one, the streak speckled and spotted, those don't fit in any of these playlists. I would like to, because like when I've tried, like when I go into the commentaries playlist, the bigger it gets, the longer I like to re-listen to them, and the bigger this list gets, the longer it takes for me to get to the end. So I'd like to be able to split them up so it's easier to find certain videos. And then this next section is just our streams where I'm just reading a chapter of the Bible in each video. And then that's the first 2, the Old Testament, New Testament. And then I got this one here, which this video will go in, are the videos where I'm preparing the commentary. I'm hoping these are just kind of like an encouragement to others to read the Bible. Even if it's just like a chapter a day, it only takes a few minutes to read. And then this is more entertainment stuff. Like I like reading comics and collecting Transformers, and I'm actually working on just for fun a Transformers comic, and so I've been streaming some of my time spent on that. And these I haven't put much in here lately, but these are other like current events stuff that things I happen to be at or just talk about something current. And yeah, then these other ones are just I think generic default ones. So anyway, the one I want to look at is in the Bible Christian commentaries. So one I did a long time ago, so scroll all the way to the bottom here. It's this one. What does the New Testament say about the Old Testament? Which is really, I think this is one that all the church should check out, because many Christians, most of the church, kind of like someone said, me mute that just in case. And now I'm going to reference this one. And so I just want to put screenshot in my slides here. So that's why I'm bringing this one up. So I'll use the snip tool that someone at church years ago told me about. It's been really handy. I'll bring this back up. There. And once I make the video, like I present these commentaries at church, and then they'll give me the audio recording, and I'll put them with these slides. And when I do make the video, then I'll be able to put the link in here, and I think they call it a card. Oops. So let me grab the link for it here. So just so I'll be able to paste in the description quick. I'll move it to the side. I'll actually move it down in the corner there. Here. Many in the church will say that because we are under a new covenant, we don't have to bother with the Old Testament. Years ago, I did a teaching about what actually, let me put it this way. There's a video on my YouTube channel where I went over what the New Testament. I didn't capitalize Old Covenant, so I left the lowercase here, but kind of in the habit, so I'll just change that. There's a video on my YouTube channel where I went over what the New Testament says about the Old Testament. It actually praises the Old. Let's see. The New Testament actually praises the Old Testament. The Old Testament is vital for understanding the New Testament. The people in the New Testament, like Jesus and his apostles, were we're studying the Old Testament. So they would have known what it said about the law. Jesus, the apostles, and their Jewish contemporaries understood how important and how wonderful the law is. They understood that let's see. If their civilization was built on God's law, if Jesus, Paul, or anyone else taught against the Torah, they were supposed, God would want, let's see, they were supposed to receive the death penalty. Knowing all of this, why would they teach against the law? Did they actually teach against it? Let's take a look at what they had to say. There. And now, so from here, I'll start going into New Testament verses. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to make the final version of this. This will be the one I present, and this one, I'll take out those extra Old Testament slides. So yeah, this is the final one, and then so starting here, even though there's so much, these, I remember going through them and thinking, yep, I haven't covered this, haven't covered this. But yeah, so now I'll have a bunch here to show out. I think this is a good place to end where I'm at now for this week. Probably at some point later on my own, I will I'll read through it and time it out, see how long it is so far, make sure I'm not over the limit, and then I will work on the New Testament verses, and next time I'll work on this. So yeah, I'm just getting over an hour here along with the half hour earlier. Yeah, it's a pretty good amount of time. I think I need to probably step away again for a little bit. I might make some dinner, and then maybe I will, if I come back on and stream again, I think I'll work on the Transformers comic that I've been working on. Otherwise, I might I've got, just for fun, I've been reading Aaron Lopresti's Garbage Man. I want to do a review of that sometime. So actually, maybe I'll do a quick one. Like I'm about halfway through it. I kind of want to do a video talking about that and comparing Cyberfrog. And I got this new Transformer that's been really tough, so I could maybe stream while trying to finish transforming that. So, but yeah, I'll have to think about that. And there's a good chance I probably won't get back on again because I usually don't end up eating. Someone else's will usually stream, and then I'll just end up watching them. So, by the way, again, if you are watching this, I really appreciate it. Please give me a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and please share my videos, especially yeah, I hope they bless you. Please leave comments. Let me know if you have any questions or anything like that. And again, thanks for watching. Bye.